In this class, we've been talking with Professor Carrasco about the Aztec and the way in which they viewed different omens, such as comets, that were later interpreted as being related to the Spanish conquest. From an anthropological perspective, we have to keep in mind that the way in which people understand the world around them, including astronomy, is very much contingent on culture. The way we see and interpret constellations, or how we interpret the sun and the sun's movement in the sky, can be very different depending on the culture that we are a part of. There's actually a specialization within anthropology which studies the astronomy of different cultures. In all Native American societies, the study of the sky was very important. Comets, moon phases, equinoxes, and solstices, all of these were significant. Eclipses were significant signs of political upheaval for the Mesoamericans. Venus appears as one of the brightest stars in the sky, especially in the tropics. So Venus and the observation of its movement across the sky was very important for both the Aztecs and especially the Maya, and the Pleiades as well. In our culture, we don't really perceive this star group as much, but for the ancient Mesoamericans, this constellation was called the marketplace and was particularly significant. It's really all about how different cultures understand the universe and their place within it. In pre-Columbian Mesoamerica, they saw the universe as being structured hierarchically in layers. There were 13 layers of the heavens and 9 layers of the underworld, and the Earth actually fit in both the upper and the lower layers. Within the 13 layers of the heavens, different celestial bodies occupy different layers. So for example, the sun had its own layer, while Venus, the moon, and the clouds were each in different layers. Each of these levels was associated with a different god, supernatural beings, forces, and even colors. This is a very different conceptualization of the way in which the universe was structured than, for example, the Western European idea that the universe is conceived as orbital or spherical. The Maya were not interested in what planets, stars, or moons were revolving around which. They were observing how things were moving in each of the 4 cardinal directions of the sky, as well as up and down, the rising and the setting. They were most interested in what we call horizon events, and also in zenith passages straight overhead. We have to understand this as naked eye astronomy. The Maya didn't have telescopes to look at some of these celestial bodies. Instead, they viewed the movements of the stars and the planets using landmarks such as mountains or the sea. For the Maya, these movements paralleled the natural cycles occurring in all parts of life, including mythology. In this sense, astronomical events were the physical manifestations of gods, eternal mythological events or actions that played out in the spirit world. Rising and setting events and the change in the position of these events represented the battles or fundamental opposing forces or tensions between supernatural forces. Gods would rise, conquer, and then fall, as would kings on the earthly plane. Maya scribes carefully recorded the calendar dates of important historical events, such as the lives of kings, wars, marriages, and rituals, correlating them with natural cycles observed by astronomers and diviners. They even constructed buildings that were designed as observatories to more accurately cite the appearance, disappearance, and movement of stars across the plane of the sky. These were also temples for the veneration of the deities that were associated with these celestial bodies. Even more vital was the question of how human activities in the earthly plane would ensure that these necessary universal cycles continued. And all of this relates, of course, to the calendar.